So guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. Guys, I want to get straight into it. So guys, I'm going to break this video down into two because I want to talk about two topics. I want to talk about what someone asked me about Pacquiao Crawford, and I want to talk about Devin Haney and Jorge Linares' announcement. I've been asked, do you think, on my Instagram, do you think Manny Pacquiao can beat Crawford? Like, do you think you're being harsh on Manny Pacquiao? And then I get the Crawford fans attacking me. Let me break this down for you guys, right? I think Crawford is the favorite going into this fight, and I'll give you my reasons why. Crawford has been very active, right? He is pound for pound seen as one of the best in the world. Manny Pacquiao is 42 years of age. He's very inactive, right? His last win came against Keith Thurman, which was a very physically grueling fight. We saw signs of fatigue, especially towards the end of that fight with Pacquiao, because a younger Pacquiao would have knocked Keith Thurman out. And Manny Pacquiao now has a lot of other responsibilities outside of boxing, which, you know, take priority. Let's be honest, he has a lot going. He has a lot on his plate. You know, boxing is the main thing for him. He's got, you know, he wants to become Prime Minister of the Philippines or President of the Philippines. He's got a lot more on his, you know, he's involved heavily in the politics in Philippines now. So there's a lot on Manny Pacquiao's plate. And I always say when I talk about this that I don't write Manny Pacquiao completely off. And I say I think he can win. Now, some Crawford fans attack me and say, no, Manny Pacquiao's got no chance in this fight whatsoever. And I'll tell you why I don't write Manny Pacquiao. Firstly, Manny Pacquiao proved against Keith Thurman that he's still got something left. And I know Crawford fans will say, well, Crawford's not Keith Thurman. We don't know that yet, because Keith Thurman had fought better fight, got better names on his resume than Crawford. Crawford has been looking dominant, been looking good, but two of the biggest names on his resume is Brook and Khan, and both guys were way past their best. They're probably the two of the biggest names he's got on his resume, and they were way past his best. Now, he beat Postal, he beat Gamboa, he beat some other guys, don't get me wrong, but, you know, he hasn't beat another, you wouldn't say he's beat another pound for pound great, has he? Or if you look through Crawford's resume, can you see anybody on there that he's, you know, that he's beat pound for pound? That's on the pound for pound list? No one really. So, if he was to fight Manny Pacquiao, yes, he would go in the favorite because of how dominant he's looking and the fact that he's in his peak, in his prime. But to write Manny Pacquiao off and say Manny Pacquiao's got no chance with him, especially when Manny Pacquiao's got a better win just recently on his resume than what Crawford has got, and probably his whole career. Pacquiao's win, you can argue Pacquiao's win over Keith Thurman is better than anything that Crawford has beat in his whole career. You could make an argument for that. You could definitely make an argument for that. Listen, I respect Crawford. He's a great fighter. You know, he's a 3-weight world champion. He's doing well. He's done well for himself. Undisputed 140-pound champion. But I just don't think you can write off Pacquiao, even at 42 years of age, just because of the fact that there's a lot of unknown, there's a lot of question marks around Terence Crawford. Does he go in the favourite? Absolutely, yes. But there's too many question marks beside Crawford's name right now. There's too many question marks. He hasn't been in the ring with a caliber of opponent like a Manny Pacquiao, even at 42. Because Manny Pacquiao showed 2 years ago that he still has a lot in the tank. He was able to beat Keith Thurman. And let's be honest, no one in boxing, right? The powers to be didn't want Manny Pacquiao to win that fight. I'll tell you why. Because they wanted Keith Thurman to win, because Manny Pacquiao's a dinosaur now. He's old. What good is it for boxing if Manny Pacquiao wins? Because Manny Pacquiao hasn't got long left. He's gonna leave. He's gonna retire 1-2 more fights max. Whereas they would rather have someone like Crawford beat him, someone like Thurman beat him, because they've got a longer span in the sport. You'd be creating a new superstar. It's like passing over the baton, wouldn't it? That's my point. Is that Manny Pacquiao proved us wrong. Now, you can say whatever you want that Thurman's not Crawford. Thurman's beaten, in my opinion, got better names on his record than Crawford. You know, so I just think that, here's the thing, you've got to balance things up. You've got to be neutral about it. I'm not saying Manny's going to beat Crawford. I have Crawford favourite to beat him. Yes, you have to say that he's favourite. But also, the other thing is, I believe Manny Pacquiao, out of Spence and Crawford, feels he can beat Crawford a lot. He feels that Crawford is the easier fight out of the two. Manny Pacquiao believes he can beat Crawford. I tell you why, because I think he looks at Spence and he looks, this guy's big, he's strong, he's got a granite chin, you know. He's quite a big dude as well. Whereas he looks at Crawford and thinks that Crawford, although he's slick and although he's skillful, right, there's a bit of vulnerability there. Is his chin that great? You know, he's not that much bigger than me. Yeah, Crawford's bigger than Pacquiao, but he's not that much bigger, whereas Spence is a thick, big unit, you know. And at this age, does Manny Pacquiao want that kind of work, you know? That relentless pressure, that strength, that power. You know, he's a lot bigger than Manny physically. He can manhandle Manny if they start clinching, you know? And at this age and at this stage, you know, when we saw Manny Pacquiao against Keith Thurman tiring towards the end, Spence's style is even more, it's even more horrible for someone like Pacquiao because he's going to put even more pressure on him. And he's going to look to tire him, those body shots, that relentless pressure. At this stage of Manny's career, that might not be the right style. Because someone like Spence in Manny's prime, I know a lot of Spence fans think that Spence would have beaten Manny in his prime. No, he wouldn't have done. Manny Pacquiao would have obliterated Spence. You know, he would have beat guys. He beat guys like Spence badly. And I'm very, very confident he would have beat Spence in his prime, without question. But right now, I just think Spence's style is horrible. You know, it's not the type of style that Manny wants to go near. But Crawford, you see, Crawford, I've always said this to you guys, and I think you guys will remember this. I always said that Spence is the more dangerous fight. Crawford might be the harder fight. Because at this age, right, Crawford's very fast. He's very fast of feet. He's fast of hands. He's a fast fighter, right? And at this age, that fight can be tricky for Manny Pacquiao. It's a tricky fight. It's a fight where he could get picked apart. It's a fight where Manny could be outboxed. But it's not a fight that I believe is where he's going to get hurt. Like, listen, any fight you can get hurt. But I don't think the fight's as dangerous as a Spence fight. And as you get older, you evaluate these things, right? Manny's probably evaluating. He probably looks at Spence and Crawford and thinks Crawford's the easier fight. It's not as dangerous. It's a fight that he feels he has more chance of winning, I believe. Now, does he go into both fights as an underdog? Yes, but he was underdog against Thurman. You know, so I just don't feel either way. I can see when you look at this from Crawford's point of view and you look at this from Manny's point of view, I can see how Manny Pacquiao fans would push their narrative across and how Terence Crawford fans are pushing their narrative. I'm in between. I'm looking at both angles. Yes, Crawford is the favourite and he would be favoured to win the fight just because of Manny's inactivity, the fact that he's 42. You know, we saw towards the end in the Thurman fight that he was tiring. However, from Pacquiao's side, you've got to look at it. He beat Keith Thurman against the odds, right? He still showed he has something left. So you can't really write him off. You know, he's done it time and time again. You can't really write him off. And for me, if he was to beat Crawford, then wow, what a legacy. What a legacy, what a career he would be leaving behind. But you can't write Manny Pacquiao off. But this is the first time. See, I picked Manny to beat Thurman. I wouldn't be picking him to beat Crawford this time. Because I think there's only, I think everyone reaches a limit. And I feel like Manny's reached his limit now. So I would be surprised. He would be surprising me. Yeah, I would never ever pick against Pacquiao. But I feel that the limit's met now. I don't think he can go any, I don't think he can do, I don't think he can beat Spence or Crawford, personally. If I'm being totally honest, just being neutral. Even though I like Pacquiao and you guys know I'm a fan of Pacquiao, I don't think he beats Spencer Crawford right now. Just being honest. But Crawford is a fight that he can win, but he would be the underdog, without question. I don't think any Crawford fan can say, oh man, he's not going to win the fight and he's got no chance. Trust me, that's rubbish. He's got a chance. He might not be a 50-50. It might not be a 50-50 fight, but trust me, Manny Pacquiao's got way better chance than anyone else that's been in the ring with Terence Bud Crawford. You better believe it. He's got a way better chance. Way better. And if everyone says otherwise, they're pushing an agenda. There's no way anyone can tell me that Manny Pacquiao has no chance of beating Terence Crawford. That's nonsense. Absolute nonsense. That's my take on the Pacquiao-Crawford. So I just wanted to clear that out because I had a few Crawford fans message me. I had a few Pacquiao fans message me on Instagram, Facebook. Just want to let you know my opinion. That I don't think this is a clear, clean-cut kind of fight. Either way. Let's go now straight into Devin Haney and Jorge Linares. So Devin Haney will be fighting Jorge Linares, I believe May 29th. This is a very, very good fight. This is a fight where this is Devin Haney's come-out party. You know, I know Gamboa was a name, but Gamboa was way, way past it. Now, people are going to say Linares is past it. I would have preferred Devin Haney to fight Lomachenko, but I think this is a good fight. I think this is a very good fight. And to be honest with you, Devin Haney's not a very big puncher. Linares is a credible. Linares is a 3-weight world champion. He's an excellent fighter. And to be honest with you, I don't know who I'm picking in this one. This is a very, very good fight. This is a very, very stern test for Devin Haney. I know a lot of people think Linares is past his best. I don't know. I think Linares is going to be a problem for Devin Haney. Because Linares has got very fast hands. He's got good movement. He's fast. He's explosive. I think this is a hard fight. And I don't think Devin Haney is a big puncher. Now, Devin Haney is a big lightweight. But nevertheless, I think Linares is going to give him a lot of issues in this fight. I don't think this is an easy fight whatsoever. A lot of people think that Devin Haney is just going to go in there and destroy Linares. No, Linares is a very, very good fighter. I've seen Linares against Kevin Mitchell. I saw him against Luke Campbell. Anthony Crolla. Twice, I believe, he fought Crolla. Yeah, Linares, he's a solid champion. Solid champion. And I don't think this is an easy fight for Devin Haney. Now, Devin Haney is going into the fight as a favourite. But by no means am I not, overlooking an upset here. No chance. This is a very, very dangerous fight for Haney, in my opinion. People keep saying he's past his best. But we'll find out. Because like I said, Devin Haney's not a big puncher. He's not a big puncher. A lot of people have trolled Haney because of his punch power and the fact that he's not a big puncher. Didn't Gamboa go the distance with him? Gamboa was just very old and shot to pieces. I don't think Linares is that past his best. Look at the fight that he had with Lomachenko. Look at the fight that Linares had with Luke Campbell. He's not that past his best. And I know those were maybe a couple years ago as well. But I still don't think Linares is way past his best like Gamboa was. This is a very tough fight. It's a very, very tough fight for Devin Haney. I don't think this is going to be easy. No chance. But it's a good fight because it's a yardstick to see where Devin Haney's at. I think this is his first real test as a pro in a fight where I think he's in danger, potentially could lose as well. I think this is going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to this because I think we find out how good Devin Haney is. We find out how good Devin Haney is. Now, Linares is a guy that hasn't got the greatest chin in the world. So his chin is suspect, and it's been suspect ever since, I first saw him. He went up to 140 and got knocked out by Juan Pablo Cesar Canu, I believe. And so Haney, could he dent, could he hit Linares with something and hurt him? Possibly, but Haney's not a big puncher. That's why I was saying earlier, I think it's a very interesting fight because if they both box, I know Haney, a lot of people think Haney's got a very defensive and he's a very good boxer. I think Linares is a very good boxer and Linares has got fast hands. I think Linares could outwork Devin Haney because Haney at times doesn't let his hands go. some of these guys at times admire their work. I like Haney. I think he's a good up and coming prospect, but I do think that really when you look at his resume, this is his toughest fight till date. No doubt about it. There's no question. It's not even close. People were saying before this fight that Gamboa was his test, and everybody knew that Gamboa was way past his best. Way past his best. See, Linares isn't as shot as someone like Gamboa. Linares has still got a lot left. This is a tough fight, man. This is a tough fight. I think people are sleeping on Linares just because, Linares has had a few defeats and he's at the end. He's, not been as active. I still think Linares is a problem, man. Linares is a problem for Devin Haney. Trust me. Linares can really fight. He's a very good fighter. Don't sleep on him in this fight because, like I said, this would be Haney's first major test. Linares is an accomplished fighter, 3-weight world champion. He's a legitimate top 5. Seen him many times here in the UK. I've seen him beat Luke Campbell. Luke Campbell, again, is a very skilled fighter, as we saw against Garcia. Put Garcia down. And I actually think that Devin Haney v. Luke Campbell would be a good fight. Devin Haney v. Luke Campbell would be a good fight because Haney's not a big puncher. He's not very explosive like Ryan Garcia. And it would be more of a boxing match, more of a chess match. And I think Haney's style would suit someone like Campbell. I actually think Campbell could give someone like Haney a lot of trouble because Haney's not a big puncher. Haney likes to box. And that's why I think someone like Linares, but you'd have to say Linares beat Campbell. He's more credible. When you look at how accomplished he is, you'd have to say that Linares is a more credible opponent than Luke Campbell. So this is definitely a step up for Devin Haney and a fight that I'm really intrigued and looking forward to because, like I said, I think it could easily go the other way. A lot of people think Linares is way past his best. I don't think he's that past his best. And I think against Devin Haney, he will show that. Whether it's good enough to win, I do think that this is his toughest fight and it's going to be a tough fight for Devin Haney. I don't think this is an easy fight whatsoever. A lot of people think that, Haney's just going to walk through him out. I don't think so. This is a very tough fight for Devin Haney. And I think I'm excited that this fight's been made because I actually think it's a very good test. I actually think it's a very good test because if Haney comes through this with flying colours, even if it doesn't knock Linares out and he beats him on points and schools him, then Haney would have proved to the world that this guy is the truth. Because I don't like Linares doesn't get rolled over by anyone. He don't get schooled by anyone. Like even Lomachenko struggled against him. Yeah, I know Lomachenko got the knockout, but Lomachenko was put down in that fight. Linares is a good fighter. Good fighter. So for me, this is a very good fight. This is an intriguing matchup and one that's going to probably answer a lot of question marks around Devin Haney. It's going to answer us a lot of question marks, for sure, without question. Leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about Pacquiao, Crawford, what I said earlier, and let me know what you think about Haney and Linares. I'm looking forward to this one. It's a cracker. Leave your thoughts, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.